It is wonderful to be here today. Combining entrepreneurship and philanthropy, Neferteri is a powerhouse with a heart of gold and a trailblazer for entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders. Neferteri has been featured in the Huffington Post, BBC News, and most recently on the cover of LA Weekly and in a special holiday campaign with Starbucks. Neferteri is also the founder of Single Moms Planet. While working with big brands and making a huge impact, Neferteri still finds the time to support single moms in business like me. Many people have commented how my positive parenting business has taken off over the last few months, and it is no coincidence. It is truly due to your business coaching, Neferteri. Thank you so much for being here with us today. How do you do what you do? I would love to start talking about that today to kick off.
Oh my goodness. How do I do what I do? I take one bite at a time. You take too many bites and you try to swallow it, you're going to choke. I would just say, pace yourself and really look at what is the impact that I want to make today, right? So we can't necessarily do it all in a day, but we can take that little step or that big step that leads to that great big goal or result that we want to really create. And that's how I shape my personal business. That's how I shape when I work with my clients like Megan. And, I just have to say, just to step in here with Megan, she has made such an amazing transformation. This is transformational work that we've done together. The way that she shows up for her community, the way that she looks, the way that her confidence, it blows me away, just to be in your essence and your presence and to see that, that light shine through you. And a lot of that, was done not with overwhelm, not with just a bunch of busy doing. We really work on what's that goal that you want to reach and what are those steps that you can take to get there. And it doesn't need to feel overwhelming at all.
It doesn't, and it didn't. You see for your clients, you see our vision, and then you put a structure in place to make it happen. I literally refer every woman in business to you and to your work, and that's why it's so wonderful to be here today. So thank you for all you do. On that note, would you share a little bit about your story and how you got to the place where you're at today?
Oh, my story goes way back. So I actually started off in the entertainment business. And so my brand was originally based around modeling and television hosting, walking the red carpets in New York for Betsy Johnson, for Fashion Week. And that is where I really have the staple in the ground for what I saw as excellence within the brands that I worked for as an entertainer, and seeing how things were organized and seeing the amount of excellence that was on the table whenever someone was producing something or creating something. And I really took that in, and I noticed that I had a love for business as well. So before I became a model, I was in school, in college actually, for computer science. And so I had a love for computers before it was this, this cool thing that everyone's into. And I love the online space. I love design. And so I kind of just mixed those things in together. And that was really how my brand was created. And then also, being around very high level individuals, people who, when they're waking up at 5 a.m. and even potentially going to bed at 10 o'clock at night, they are just having those types of people around you is really true. The people you have around you is really what you become. It's what you reflect. And so for anyone that's listening right now, I would have to say, from me being a young lady, from the age of 17, all the way up until, that around 25 years old before I had my kids, that was really where it all started. It's like, who's around you, looking at the businesses and the brands that maybe you've done business with, even if you're working a job right now and that's not what you want to be doing. What can you take from the way that they're structuring their business for success, and knowing what success looks like and how to obtain it and consistently achieve it? And so that's really where I came from.
You bring that standard of excellence to everything you do, and the way that you show up in such integrity. It's been wonderful to work with you because it's not an abstraction. Like, I get to look at that, within you as a coach, and then, well, how am I going to make that my own? And also working with you, it's like, there's no way not to be successful. And that's something very unique to your coaching that I mean, that is like your gold standard. There's no way to not be successful.
Look, I have a prayer that I do for myself and for my family and for the people that I work with in my community and for my clients, is that not only do I attract abundance and that I attract grace in my life and that I attract peace, but I also always pray that my cup runneth over. And the way that I show up is that whenever I'm creating something or I'm doing something, it's not just for me. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the community that I'm creating. It belongs to my clients, the resources that I have, the connections that I have. Even, I might even slightly stalk my clients. I do it to Megan periodically. I'm like, what'd you just do? Don't do it that way. Fix this, delete that, start over, and it's one of those things where I really just want, you need that. It's almost like when a baby is learning to walk, right? They don't want you to necessarily hold their hand, but they want to know you're there. And when you're working with a client, sometimes it is having that, they're independent though, right? It's not like you have to baby them, because as you know, for moms who have that 1-year-old or that 8-month-old that's trying to walk, they're like, I got it, get away, mom. I know what I'm doing. And so it's like, I become that incubator for the success, right? Like, I already see you walking, I already see you running, and I already see you jumping. I just need your brainwave patterns to catch up with what I see for you, right? That vision that I see for you. And so that's the space that I hold when I'm working with someone, or the space that I hold when I'm even just speaking to a young mom that may be getting out of a divorce, or something that brutal has happened to her, or a family that needs to find healing. I'm coming from that place of, I know that there's something greater on the other edge of life. If you follow me, I will guide you in the direction that is best set for you, right? And so that's really, to me, what that vibe is, that feeling is. And I'm not trying to turn you into me. I want you to be the best you and what's best for your family and for your own business.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, within that, and you touched upon, you do have this heart of service, and particularly for single moms. Could you talk a little bit about that, and maybe a little bit about your journey with Single Moms Planet?
Most definitely. So after I, jet setting and modeling and magazines and all these things, which I still model, but I definitely was way more into it in my younger year. I got married. We had 2 kids together, got divorced. And thank God we have a beautiful co-parenting relationship. Didn't necessarily start off like that, but we worked our way through it. And we matured over time as well. And we really, our co-parenting relationship is beautiful because we want it to be that way for the kids, right? After a certain point, it's not about he and I's relationship. It's about how do we relate to each other to get the kids the best result that they need to have successful lives consistently, right? And so once we got ourselves out of the way and put our egos to the side and made it be not about us, because our marriage was done, I was able to really resurface myself and just see like, wow, all those things that I went through, from counseling to crying to depression, not wanting to eat, hugging trees in the middle of the park, talking, Mother Earth, help me. Somebody help me, please. I really went through it all. And even just looking at community, what community people can I connect to, mothers that have gone through this? I realized that there was no community really set out in a positive way for single moms. And I was a single mom that was ambitious, and I was in business, and I wanted to get back out there, and I wanted to create my own way and make good money and provide for my family, and not necessarily be relying upon their father to potentially be the one that had to take care of me for the rest of his life. That really wasn't my goal. And I was like, I want to create something for single moms, but I want it to be really accountable. And I want to push the envelope on that single moms can do it all. We can be it all. Whatever that all is for you, though, not for society, but whatever being it all is for you and for your family and seeking your own happiness. And that was how Single Moms Planet was birthed. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we help single mothers all over the U.S. And actually, we have single moms that are outside of the U.S. as well. So we're a global organization in impacting women and children all around the world. And we've been around for 6 years mostly we were doing boots on the ground events and then some digital events. We've had award shows where we've honored some amazing single mothers in business. One of them is Anastasia of Beverly Hills. She's a self-made billionaire single mom. Some of you may be having some of her makeup in your bag. She was a sponsor for our award show. We've had some beautiful, partnerships over the years with even the NFL, the Boy Scouts of America, Dove, Target, even Starbucks, which you mentioned just, in my intro. We did a campaign with Starbucks for Christmas, and they talked about Single Moms Planet and the work that I do in the community, as well as me being an influencer with them for that campaign. And so, really creating Single Moms Planet was, I would say, one of the birthing arenas for how I wanted to really impact women. And then as I rolled into doing coaching, I've been doing marketing for years. So marketing and PR and creating business models and helping companies fire and hire and train their employees. I've done these different vast things throughout my career. And so when I come into helping a mom, it really is a personal experience for me. Her success really is my success, right? So when a mom reaches a goal, it not only impacts me and it makes me feel like, wow, I really do feel like God put me on earth to help and to be there for single mothers. It's a part of my passion. It's a part of my reason for, I believe, him putting me on earth at this time. And it is a 1000% commitment for me. It's not just an exchange of something. It's like, I'm committed to this person's life, because every time you impact a single mom, you really do impact the world. I really do believe that, because you're impacting her children and her children's children, right? And there's so many single moms, they don't have that support system. They don't have someone that they could say, wow, this person really does have my back. They really are looking out for me. And I feel like when you're in that safe environment and someone has you, you can just thrive even more, right? And so I really do feel like that, not only is it my passion, is it my calling, I think I would have to say at this point in my life, but it's something that I just really enjoy doing. It pops me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, that vision. And that's the way I originally connected with your work, is really finding solace in that Single Moms Planet community. And then also that you hold this vision for single moms in business, which is so unique and so needed. So I would love to hear about your PR business masterclass and who it can help, and also just the words you have. I think a lot of the moms listening or a lot of the women in business listening are moms. Mm-hmm. And your words of wisdom for us, because it is a lot of juggling.
It is a lot of juggling. So I have a program that I actually developed called the PR Business Masterclass. And this program is actually something that is complementary to the community. And I love doing this masterclass because one of the main reasons why I love helping women in business and helping moms in business is I believe that there needs to be more stories being told about women. There needs to be more stories being told about mothers from their own point of view, from their own voice. And I do believe 100% that majority of women have actually been silenced, right? They've been silenced. They've been told that their story should be something held in secret. They've been told that they should not share their story with the world. And the PR Business Masterclass is designed for you to really step out there and take back control of your story, of your purpose, of your vision, of your mission, not only for your life, not only for your family, but for the world. Because stories are meant to be shared. And when people tell you to hide your story, it is from the pits of hell, in my opinion. It is not what we are designed to be. That is why we have verbal language. That is why we have communication. That is why stories are really the way that we know history, right? We know our family's history. We know how things happen. But guess what happens when someone else shares your story? Because your story is being told is just not the version you want to tell, right? Somebody's telling your story right now, but it's just not you telling it the way that it really happened in your occurrence. When someone else shares your story, it gets watered down. If you ever played that telephone game, you know what I'm talking about. I tell you something in your ear, you tell it to two other people. By the time it gets back to me, it's totally different, right? I'm talking about apples and oranges, and the next thing you know, you're telling me I walked the dog last night. And I'm like, I don't even have a dog. What are you talking about, right? And so I help women gain authority over their brand, over their business, over their story, and really create that synergy to put their message out there to attract media, partnerships, sponsorships. And that's really what happened to me. What I'm sharing is what happened to me in my experience. When I gained control of my story and became unapologetic about it and said, this is my life, this is my lane, and God gave me this vision. And I don't care what's going on in your life. If you don't like it, don't listen to me. Turn the channel. Right? Turn the channel. That's okay. There's friends that I don't have anymore. There's family members I don't have anymore. I was really close to some of my ex's relatives. We stopped talking after I created Single Moms Planet because they were making it about him and it had nothing to do with him. Wasn't taking away that he wasn't a great dad and that he still is a great dad. I was sharing that women and single mothers need to be about the business of creating a life and legacy that they love. And they need to be unapologetic about it. And that's my life's mission and vision. And so when I started talking about that, I don't even reach out to press anymore. The BBC contacted me, Access Hollywood contacted me, Entertainment Tonight contacted me. You know, they want to hear these messages because it's my story and I'm willing to share it. And so that's what the PR Business Masterclass is about. And we're actually starting it on Monday. And we help you create a press kit as well, which is huge. So having a solid press kit that you can share with the media, you can share with potential partnerships and sponsorships is going to be really key for your brand and your business. And so we help you structure that as well as making sure your voice is being heard and you know how to share your story. And this program is something that Megan has done with us. I think at least twice, Megan, you've gone through this program.
I do parts of it every time because it's incredibly valuable.
Definitely. And we run it for 5 days. It starts on the 15th and ends on the 19th. And then if you are wanting to learn more about how to work with us and how to work with my company and how to work with me, we go into our mastermind, which is our, we do premium PR, where we really go into molding you, rebranding you, bringing your company out to the forefront. Whatever it is that you want to create, it's in a group program, but this is really still custom to you. Everyone that's Megan's in the program with us right now, even though it's a group, it's individualized to what it is that you want to accomplish. It's not just like a blanketed information and then you just kind of say, let me figure out how to make this fit for my business. Our coaches really personally go in and make sure that you are getting what you need, which is so important, especially when you're building that personal brand and that business that you want to really put out there.
Yes. and I'm the Media Magnetism Mastermind. I mean, it's one of the most profound decisions that I've made in my life. And the network, not only are women gaining access to you and all your expertise, but you're also a community-minded person, and we also gain access to your network. And I'm so excited to see where I'm going to be 3 months from now and 6 months from now and next year from doing this work together. It's phenomenal.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. And we have guest speakers that are going to be coming in there from Forbes magazine, the senior editor at Forbes and the owner of LA Weekly, major publicists that deal with, some of the top brands in the world are going to be in there, networking with our women. So, I mean, I love to talk to anyone that is thinking about, stepping out there. Definitely our program is definitely a best fit for those who are ready to really come out there and put their brand out there. We do help coach you about that, but you have to be willing to share your story. You have to want to put your best foot forward, because we're talking about, TV, radio, media, really getting your brand out there so you can create, those books you've always wanted, or if you want your own talk show, or if you want to be a commentator for someone else's talk show, if you want to be a contributing writer, whatever it's really about whatever you want to create, and we help you do that.
Yeah. You're able to get consistent results and take a system that, as you were sharing earlier, from all the excellence you've been around in your life, it's like you've just put this all together in almost like this funnel in this sacred space. And what I love so much about what you do is it is about consistent results. It is about the structures in place. It's about getting big in our vision. It's about financial security for women in business. And it's about the service and our spiritual journey on this planet. So I just encourage everyone, if you connect, it's this holistic vision that you're holding for all of us. And the PR Business Masterclass, as I shared, I do it every single time. I get new things out of it every single time. And within that, if women want to connect with you directly, what is the best way to do that?
Oh, sure. So definitely, if you're on Facebook right now watching this, you can definitely connect with me via direct messenger. You can also go to my website, neferteriplessy.com, and, definitely find ways that we can connect with each other. I have a schedule link so we can book a call, we can chat, or we can chat via direct messenger. And if you are looking to have a single mom community, you can always connect through singlemomsplanet.org. And, we'd love to have you in there as well. It's a great community of women. Definitely, I would say we have such a gentle community of women. No one's like bashing each other, which I see that in some groups. And I'm like, oh, this is terrifying. No one wants to really post anything. But in our groups, we really do hold space for each other. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're experiencing, there's a mom in our group that's more than likely have been there and has come out on the other side. And we love to have you there for sure.
It really is a vow about the community. Janaea Otey is here and saying, I love that I was able to connect with other mom entrepreneurs, and that community that we create with one another is definitely part of the magic.
Definitely. Yeah, she's on fire right now too. Still closing clients. She just messaged me today, and creating corporate partnerships. That's one of the things that we definitely work on, is sometimes not just having that one-on-one, but how can you expand and have that corporate dynamic within your business? How can you have those speaking engagements? How can you really expand your brand and your vision? And so, really excited about that. And then I wanted to find out too, did you want to still talk about legacy and how to build that legacy?
Yes, please.
I think we should. So do you
That's what I ended up titling, because I love that idea of building a legacy.
Yeah. So do you have any particular questions for me, or do you want me just to kind of
I think just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the main things that I really want to hit on today is legacy, Megan. And when we go about thinking about the terminology around legacy, a lot of times it feels like a far-fetched entity, or it sounds really big. One of the things that I want us to really practice and get into the habit of and make this about our family culture is sitting down and having family discussions that are about business, right? So the number one thing you want to do is start off with your own internal family. So even if it's just you by yourself, sit down with yourself, right? Maybe nobody, sit down with yourself, have your own meeting set up. Get your wine. You can definitely have wine if you're by yourself. Have all the fun you want, right? Dress up in lingerie, do whatever you want to do. And sit at the table and just really find out what's going on in the business of your life, of your legacy. Because a legacy can also be left over to a school or a college. You can leave it over to nieces and nephews if you don't have any kids. So there's always a way to continue that legacy. But if you have a family, sit them down. If you have kids, and they have mail or they have bank statements, let them open up their own bank statements and mail. Let them know what's going on. Let them talk to their financial advisor. Set them up with a meeting with their financial advisor. Even if they're 6 years old, 8, 10, it doesn't matter how old they are. They have questions and they want them to be answered. And so give the children a space for that to happen. I want us to be in the habit, especially for anyone that's in a relationship, get in the habit of having conversations that are not about putting out fires, right? So a lot of times when we have our conversations, we're trying to put out a fire, and I want you to be in a proactive way about the handling of about the business of how you handle your family and how you handle money conversations, and have money conversations. The money conversation shouldn't just be, hey, my account's overdrawn, or my credit cards, I don't have anything else on it. You know, really look at, what do we want to do this year? How do we want to plan that out? What is our quarterly goal? Where are we at financially? What needs to be fixed in the household? You know, and really sit down and create an environment for this. I think sometimes we do these drive-by conversations and they don't really create that momentum. And so for instance, in our family, every Sunday, we do a 30-minute check-in to see where we are with each other, and also what needs to be put to the table, right? So what do we want to bring up? What's the topic that we want to discuss? So you may one day discuss life insurance. Another day you may discuss retirement. Another day you may discuss taxes. Another day you may discuss property, right? And these are conversations that will be beautiful because you want to position your children to know how to create and build a family legacy in an open communication, right? This is open communication, especially for my moms that have girls. We want them to feel empowered about having not only money-making conversations, but money conversations with their partner, with their family, and not feeling like they can't ask the tough questions, right? And put those things on the table. So that's definitely, number one.
Wow. Yeah, and for so many of us, we may have negative money stories, or money was never talked about in our family of origin, or we're coming from, cycles of poverty in our family. So I love the way that you're instilling really a value around creating this family legacy with children. It's a skill. It's a teachable skill.
It is. And like you just said, it's creating that family value that we're going to have open money conversations. And if you have boys, it shows them how to be honest and open about money conversations and how to speak about money in a positive way. Money is here for us. It is designed for us, right? It's designed for us to trade with, for us to have a value exchange. The more value you bring, the more money you make. And money likes that. Money likes when it's being exchanged for something of value that you love, that you find valuable. You raise the vibration and you raise the essence of what money is designed to do. Money is listening to us. It talks to us. It moves through us. It moves for us. It was created for us. And so when we start having negative conversations about money, you're just telling money, you're not ready for me, right? Money wants to be spoken about in an abundance manner, right? And it's not necessarily for you to speak about in a foolish manner, right? You don't want to necessarily take the last $100 you have and just go buy chocolate bars and then your lights go off in the morning, right? So money also loves the idea and the concept and the consistency of management. And Megan has heard me say this probably many, many times, because I also say it to myself at least once a week. Neferteri, don't forget, money loves management, right? So that makes me say, okay, let me make sure I got my taxes in. Let me make sure everything is ironed out. Let me call the CPA about single moms planning and make sure those taxes are being handled properly. Let me make sure all the bills are being paid early and or at least on time, right? And so money loves to have management. And when you really get down, I want you to really look at the managers that you've had in your life, the people who've managed companies or businesses. And what if you managed your money the way that high producing, high performing manager managed that business? I'm talking about all the way down to the McDonald's manager who is going to make sure, hey, good morning, how are you? They're wiping down the counter, they're sweeping up, opening the door, they're flipping the lights on. Talk to your money like that. Let your money know, I am in the business of managing you. We are in this together, and pick it up and say good morning to it if you want to. Let it know you appreciate it. Every time you spend a dime, a penny, a nickel, a dollar, and you speak to that money and you tell that money, I am magnifying you to be a blessing to the hand that this lays into next, right? Breathe life into it. Money is not evil. I know sometimes we get those things misinterpreted, right? It's not evil. People can do evil things with money, but money is not evil. I believe that money does more good on earth than it would ever do what we consider to be bad. And the money's not doing the doing, it's the person that's mismanaging the money, right? They're using it in a way that's in malice. And so we have a lot of energetic things that we need to clean out, and you could just breathe those out, because this is what we're going to be teaching to our kids. This is the vibration that we're putting off. We want to just allow the money to come in and speak to it and release any negativity around it. And I invite you to do that right now and start speaking life into how you want to see money show up for you, right? And this is not, this is a relationship, right? So remember, relationships, they go up and down. 1 minute we're crying, 1 minute we're happy. We may even have an argument with somebody. Doesn't mean that we don't love that person. And so just let money know, like, hey, I love you. I love how you help my family. I love how you provide for my household. I love how when I needed to have that surgery for my mom, you showed up for me and I was able to pay for that, right? Like, create a loving relationship with money and be thankful for the abundance that's coming to you. And so I would say that is a beautiful way to have our number 2 is really creating that relationship with money and showing our children how that relationship can be a beautiful divine experience, and it doesn't have to be embedded in anything negative.
Just every time I listen to you speak, I feel so much more empowered and inspired. And you got to sample today what it's like to work with Neferteri and be in her presence. And please do join Neferteri for the PR Business Masterclass. Something else I tell all my women in business friends is, I would suggest working with Neferteri now rather than later, because you have a heart of service, and I know that you're destined for greatness, and your time is going to become more limited to work with little old people like me. So it's also like, I know if I want to continue to work with you, I have to step into my greatness. And that's the space that you're holding for all of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much. No, I really appreciate, each and every one of you that's listening right now. And, if Megan's in your life and, you're being touched by her, just continue to allow her to be a blessing to your family. She's, blessed my family so much. I listened to her videos and her trainings and, had some coaching from her as well around my own children and how to really show up as a mother and a mother in business and a mother of service. And so, I feel like I'm gonna cry now. And, it's a beautiful thing. When you see people who really care, and it's not about, just making a quick buck off of you. They really want to build a relationship with you. They want to build a relationship with your family, and they want to see you win. Grab hold of those people and don't let them go. and, acknowledge their existence, show up for their lives like you're doing right now, comment on their post, acknowledge their contribution, blessing you with a gift. Love commenting. Sometimes I just go on social media, just tell people keep going. And you really do spread that positivity. You really do that, Megan. So thank you so much for this platform. And, I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And for all the listeners, if you have a heart of service and a business that you're passionate about, and you also want to create the legacy and have financial security and create a business that's financially lucrative, join Neferteri for the PR Business Masterclass, which is starting on Monday. It's been such perfect timing to have you here today.
Register, would love to have you. And thank you so much. I'll see you soon.